Hey everybody, it's Dave from Vanity Projects. I decided to upload another video, this time with a bit of a roundup of some of the marketing and productivity tools that I'm using and enjoying at the moment. These are the 5, 6 apps that I'm really finding the most useful. And when I look at my list of subscriptions that I pay for every month, I wanted to pick out the ones that I find the most value in. So the first on the list is Descript. Descript is a video and audio editing tool and I use it for making videos like these. I use it to edit my podcast. And the really cool thing about it, the way that it works is that when you load in a video or an interview or a piece of audio, it transcribes the sound and then you can edit it just by adjusting the text of the transcription. It's also able to automatically remove filler words like ums, ahs, likes, your knows, which is very helpful for my podcast because I'm terrible with my questions. But it's incredibly easy to use, and it means that anybody can edit video without having complicated software or having to go through it bit by bit. You can just very easily edit stuff. So it's a really incredible tool if you're making any content, making any videos. It just makes everything so easy. So Descript is an awesome tool. The next app that I really find super valuable every day is called Mailman. And I use Gmail for my work email. So this is only relevant to you if you're on Gmail. But what it does is it is able to actually batch your emails together and then deliver them at specific times. So at the moment, I like having my emails arrive in batches once every 3 or 4 hours. And it just gives me these long periods during the day where I just don't have the distractions of email. So I find it a really, really useful tool. It helps make me a lot more productive and it reduces the amount of distractions. It's also able to filter out specific senders that you assign. So every time somebody contacts you for the first time, their email is held in a special bucket that you review once a day. You either allow them or block them. If you block them, you won't get any emails from that contact or that company in future. And if you allow it, it'll get entered into your daily batches. So it's a really fantastic way to keep your inbox super minimal, super distraction free, and it just makes everything so easy. The next tool is called Webgazer.io. And what it does is it checks your website once a minute to make sure that your website is online. And it's actually really important because if you've got a WordPress website, occasionally you'll find that something might go wrong with your website. Maybe a plugin will automatically update, or there'll be an issue with your hosting, and it will actually mean that your website isn't online, it isn't responsive. And what this tool does is it checks it once a minute, and it alerts you by SMS, Slack, or email if it detects that your website isn't up. It also measures the average speed of your website, so you can also see if you're having potential issues with your website hosting. It's just really good peace of mind to know that it's there checking your website and making sure that there's no issues. And it's a free tool for one website, so you could just put your site into it and then leave it running and get alerts if there's any problem with your website, which is super handy. The next tool that I recommend, another free tool, is called Pro Rank Tracker, and it's for SEO monitoring. So you put in a bunch of keywords that you're interested in tracking how your website is ranking for them. And then it checks those keywords once every day and it gives you a daily report on whether you're moving up, down, sideways, whatever's going on with your website. So it's really good for keeping track of those important keywords that you're interested in following along and improving. So whether that's Melbourne architect or hospitality architect, Sydney, whatever the keyword is that you're trying to improve, then this tool is really, really good for doing that. So I use it to track everything related to architecture marketing coach, architecture marketing consultant. You can focus on just your local Google, but if you're interested in international presence, then you can do multiple markets and have the same keywords and track how they change. It's just really useful for seeing how these things are moving day to day, and it's good for catching problems early. So if you see a big drop all of a sudden, where you go from maybe second or third position in Google search to 15th position over the course of a couple of days, that's going to indicate to you that there is maybe a problem or some issue that you maybe need to look at or speak to somebody about. I think on the free trial, you can use 100 keywords, which is more than enough. And the final tool that I recommend is Plausible Analytics, plausible.io. and it's a complete replacement for Google Analytics. So it means that you can basically get rid of Google Analytics off your website, which is a really painful tool to use. It's also forcing people to upgrade to the new version of Analytics, and it's just a disaster. Whereas Plausible is a very good alternative. It's privacy focused, so it doesn't collect information on your visitors beyond what it needs to just give you a basic report. And then it just gives you all the essential information you need to know about where your visitors are coming from, what pages they're going to, how long they're spending on the site. And it does it in a very clean, intuitive way that everybody can easily understand. So I don't use Google Analytics at all on my website. And one of the other reasons to use Plausible rather than Google is that it's also much faster on your website. So it's going to help to speed up your website as well, just a little bit. But every little bit makes a difference. So if you never check your Google Analytics because it's too complicated and it's just too difficult to use, switching over to Plausible will just make everything a lot simpler and a lot easier for you to actually start using your analytics on a more regular basis. So those are the tools that I'm using at the moment. Let me know if there's anything out there that you're using that you think is really valuable and handy, that you check all the time or saves you time or adds value to your marketing or productivity. And I'd love to have a look at it. And I'm sure everyone else would as well.